Italy's Sella Ronda might be the most iconic ski loop in the world. Stretching over 27 miles through the Italian Dolomites, completing this circuit will allow you to cover more than a marathon's level of physical distance on skis in one day, all while enjoying some of the most spectacular alpine views one can find anywhere. However, with over 24 lifts required as part of this circuit, finishing the full Sella in one day is no straightforward task, and the difficulty isn't just in completing the main loop itself. There are several tempting offshoots that are really what make the Sellaronda worth exploring if you are staying in a town on the complete opposite side of them. So of course, when we visited Italy this past March, we had to check out the loop for ourselves. So what's the Sellaronda actually like? Which offshoots did we go for? And were we able to actually make it the whole way through?
Holy cow.
Well, in this video, we'll go through our experience doing what's arguably the crown jewel loop of the Italian Dolomites. Before we jump in, big shout out to the crew on PeakHouse Italy for making this video possible. If you want to join us in Europe next year, we'll have more information about our Austria trip at the end of this video. With that all being said, let's jump in. The first thing to note about the Sellaronda is if you want to get through the whole thing, you have to start first thing in the morning. Our group started off close to our accommodation in Ortisei, which is near the ski region of Val Gardena, and we got on the lift right as it opened so we could leave ourselves as much time as possible to complete this circuit. First off, a 2-stage ride up to the top of Val Gardena. One thing to note is that these first few rides weren't on the Sellaronda itself, but they're of the spur we needed to take to get to the official loop. The first stage was a gondola with essentially no weight, and then the second stage was a tram where that plainly wasn't the case.
How did this many people get in front of y'all? They were right behind us.
But ultimately, the wait didn't end up being any longer than 10 minutes, and we rode to the top pretty smoothly.
What do you think?
Wow. On the first run of the journey, the views were already absolutely phenomenal, but we still bombed it down as quick as we could so we could time our next mode of transport, an actual ski train.
Oh, actually the entry is up here.
And with a seat on the underground train, we started pulling out the map to do some planning.
That way you can say, yeah, it's actually complete.
But then, one of our trip goers threw a wrench into our plans.
I'm gonna go find a screw and then I'll see if I can find it.
Well,
We won't see seeing him again.
see if he makes it. Oh man.
Nice.
That was a close call.
So we did end up making it on the train as one comprehensive group, but for this next lift, it wasn't going to be nearly as easy to do that.
When we get to this gondola, we gotta push our way into the cabins because no one is gonna let us in.
Okay. Nah, we're organized at all. It's a big free-for-all? Yeah, it's a free-for-all.
And so, we made it to our first true free-for-all lift line of the day.
Oh man. This guy knows his way around already.
Knock a Creek was like this all when I was growing up. You just gotta push through and go.
Alright. Man knows what he's doing.
But for the rest of us who aren't as proficient in free-for-all line management, the struggle to get on continued.
We may be in dangerous territory right here.
Some of our group pushed their way onto the next cabin, but we couldn't all fit. But eventually, the rest of us did make our way on, and we made it to the official circuit of the Sellaronda. So since Sellaronda is a loop, there are two ways to go. The orange loop, which goes clockwise, and the green loop, which goes counterclockwise. We'd already explored some stuff in the direction of the orange loop on a different day, so for today's adventure, we decided on the green loop.
Yep, this is it.
Since the orange and green loops go in opposite directions, they cover completely different slopes despite being on the same mountains, and they're both worth doing in their own right.
Oh my.
But almost as immediately as we made it onto the circuit, there was some confusion on the slopes.
It's a green arrow. I think we're probably okay either way, but we should maybe just see where everyone else goes.
And we noticed that the trail ratings here were quite a bit more difficult than the other Dolomite areas we'd already hit.
They called that red. That was like,
Yeah.
this is just people to blacks yesterday.
But despite a few quibbles, it was already clear just how insanely stunning our journey was going to be.
Do you guys want a picture in front of this crazy rock formation? Yeah. Great photo.
Alright, so with that out of the way, it was time to keep going. Next stop, Sassolungo.
You got everybody? I think so.
And then it was time to get on one of the newer lifts on this direction of the Sellaronda.
Wow, nice. Did you see that? They're designed by Pininfarina. Oh, and I guess that's the first chair I've ever been on that has a chair 0.
We were all keeping an eye on the clock at this point, and we rushed to get off the gondola, but we quickly figured out it was too early.
Oh, it is a 2-stage.
Oh, you're staying on it?
Wow. No, we're staying on it.
No exit.
There's a big police sign that said no exits.
After that, we took a few more looks at the map.
Yeah, we have to go down to a short chair, I think. And then
Just in the blue bubble.
we'll get a run after that.
There's follow the green. We are on the circuit now then.
We also did a quick check on where we were on the circuit.
Right now, we've done maybe a 12th of it.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm asking.
But then we had our first unintended detour of the trip.
Too late.
Did anyone see Brian? Because I think he went left.
But it turned out to be okay in the end.
Oh, looks like we can take this.
Are you afraid I jumped the gun?
But that's okay. This is going to be beautiful. It worked out.
After that little kerfluffle, we stopped quickly to do a map check,
We're just trying to find our way back to green.
Alrighty.
but also to test out the snow quality a little bit.
The snow, Casey.
It's okay. Still, but you can make snowballs still, so it's not the best, but it's good.
I take it we go down this trail, at least to start.
And we did find ourselves confidently back on the right track,
Green this way.
but not in a position that was exactly ideal for our snowboarders.
Oh my god. Do you need a pull?
That wasn't being a good one. Thank you.
But yeah, we finally made it out of that rut and onto our next lift.
There's all kinds of stuff you can play with back here. Yeah.
And on this ride, we got a pretty incredible look at the rock formations in our vicinity, including the eponymous one for this particular region.
This one over here is Sassolungo that you can always see. I don't know the names of the other two.
When we got to the top, we had to figure out where to go.
Pretty sure we go to the right, because we want to get that direction anyhow. If you want to do something off-piste, make sure you're in connection with that side of the slope.
Whoa! Alright, I guess we're going this way.
We did indeed get to dip into some of the off-piste in this part of the loop. It hadn't snowed in a few days, but there were still actually a few fresh pieces of snow to be had. And it was about here, about a fifth of our way through the Sella Ronda, that we decided it was a good time for a coffee break.
Getting an espresso?
Yeah, we're gonna drink that.
Nice.
Oh, and this was legitimately classic Italian espresso, with the water shot to boot.
This was the best on-mountain espresso we've had yet.
But after getting sufficiently and efficiently caffeinated, it was back to the circuit.
Alright. Looks like we go this way based off of that sign.
By this point, we were well into the heart of the ski region of Val di Fassa.
Did you guys enjoy the trail names?
No.
This is Agonistica, and that's just easy.
Oh, let's do Agonistica.
Yeah, that's it.
So as we later learned, agonistica is a word typically used to indicate a harder split on a trail or run used for race competitions. But this ended up actually being a really nice cruiser run, and we ended up right in another little village.
This is a hard time assessing if I'm at like the bottom of the mountain until it gets slushy, and I'm like, okay.
I actually really have enjoyed the slush.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
What was also kind of fun, the ski holder design of the gondola we were about to ride up next.
I like that. Yeah. That's probably the best design yet. Yep. Yes.
We also got another really good view of the circuit on this ride.
Runs off to the left are on the orange route. The ones that we skip past.
Yeah.
At this point, we were making good time on paper.
Alright, show me your best pizzas.
What?
Show me your best pizza!
But we still had a few important Sellaronda offshoots we'd committed to taking.
Good hustle, man.
Where are we going? Down there. So we're doing a long run all the way to the town.
Whoa. It's the biggest piece I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This next part was indeed a pretty massive piece by Europe standards. Then, we took the opportunity to dip into the off-piste again. It was one more lift ride up, and then one more piece down to get to our biggest checkpoint on the loop so far, the town of Arabba.
There are a lot of ways down into town. Everything's going to feed down to that. We're going to take that tram up.
Alright, so after a nice and long ski run, we made it down to what would be our first offshoot of the day from the Sellaronda, and a pretty substantial one at that. First up, a trip up the 2,600-foot gondola to the top of Porta Vescovo.
No line management. All right.
This was another 2-stage lift.
Brian just got off.
Oh, did he? We'll have to tell him to get back on.
Got it. He got it.
He figured it out.
But after another lengthy ride, we made it to the top. And the journey was well worth it because we ended up at the top of one of the best off-piste lines we had all trip.
Crazy. We're thinking of doing this shoot right here. I'm gonna try to get out of the way of here as quick as I can.
Let's see.
I think you're gonna go a lot faster than me.
Sure.
All right.
Any mandatory drift, cliffs, drops?
I didn't see any on the way up.
That was a sick line, and by far the most intense thing we'd done off the Sella Ronda all day.
That was a lot of fun.
Oh, it's fun. I do that again.
And then, our second offshoot was perhaps the most out of the way we'd be going from the Sella Ronda all day, but it was to perhaps the most iconic section of the entire region, Marmolada.
Yo, Brian!
The Marmolada is the highest peak in the Dolomites and home to the longest piste in the entire region. And with the top section covered by a glacier, it's also perhaps the most snow-sure place too. It was really out of the way, but no full Sellaronda experience could really be complete without it.
So I think Rick told me that we want to go to a double chair that's near the mid station of this.
Yeah.
Getting to the top of Marmolada from the Sellaronda was going to require 5 lifts, the first one of which was a fixed grip double. A little bit of incredibly beautiful high alpine skiing later, and we reached our second lift, this time a 6-pack. But the truly important lift network to get to the top of Marmolada was a 3-stage series of trams at the bottom of this valley.
All right, so we're literally curving around this massive ridge and going to that tram.
We were in for a lengthy 3,000 vertical foot run to get there.
Whoa!
And it was admittedly a good one, with tons of different views, some solid spans of cruising, and that sheer length that Europe's best mountains are known for. But then, disaster struck.
Holy cow, Holly! Look at this line. It's Marmolada at noon. What day is today? Whoa! Okay.
Are you okay?
We'd waited in long lines in Europe before, but this was a new unconscionable level. And unfortunately, committing to the Marmolada meant you really had to commit. There was no other way out by lift, so everyone just had to ride up the tram to get out of there. Needless to say, with it already being noon, this threw a serious wrench in our plans.
It doesn't look that big.
No, it's not.
We also quickly realized that this line was not going to move quickly.
At least like
Oh, I think it's gonna be longer than that.
Spoiler alert, it was much longer than that.
I can't believe it. When are we gonna
With this being Europe, there was no line management, and as with earlier, we had to try to fight our way through.
I feel like right now a double-decker tram would come in very handy here.
The whole tram might not be the
through
best
the
idea.
mountain.
Instead of going up and down, we need to go on a circle like you've gone.
If only we had a helicopter.
That's what we need next time.
Peak Heli 2026.
By this point, everyone was really tired and annoyed, and things were not helped by the fact that none of us had packed lunch for the day, given we were planning to grab something on the mountain.
Find another.
Maybe we grab like a pastry and that's our lunch.
I don't think we can linger.
I think we got in around 11:50.
It's 1:15 right now.
Oh, we're definitely not lapping this again.
The wait just kept on going, and all we could do was just keep looking at the clock. After an hour and a half, we made it into the terminal building and saw that we were not at the end of our line journey.
So we've been waiting for the Marmolada move to the top experience. Do you guys want to give your unbiased review of how it's been so far?
Yeah, I mean, today is probably like a chokehold because a lot of people got funneled down here, so not worth the wait.
My review? It's long. My feet hurt.
But then, after nearly 2 hours of waiting, our group finally made it onto the tram, but literally just by the skin of our teeth.
Oh my god. There's room for 6 more. Oh my. Yes. We're gonna see these people. Sorry, man. We've been on this line for so long, we better get our footage to document we were there.
We'll do a time lapse.
And finally, that teeny lift for that many people arrived.
Guys, I can't believe we're actually getting on a lift.
I know. I forgot what it was like. Does anyone know what time we got in line?
Almost 2 hours ago. I have it time-stamped on my GoPro so we can tell for sure when...
Alright, so we were finally on the tram, and thankfully, that was the entire lift line for the full 3 stages.
This first stop is just interchange. Nothing to linger around.
We also got a glimpse of the poor souls who were about to experience the same excruciating line as we did.
Was that the trail we took?
Yeah, I think that is a trail we took a couple times.
All right, number 2.
My legs don't like standing around for so long.
We took advantage of the long tram ride to do some strategizing.
So how long did they get back?
How long did it take us to get here? Down to the bottom, that was like 3, right? 3.5.
I think if we hustle, we could do it in 2.
So yeah, time had suddenly become a serious concern for getting home by the end of the day. We decided to take the 3rd tram up to the top and make a game time decision on lunch from there. But finally, after all that waiting, tram riding, and 1 elevator ride down later, we made it to the top of the highest slope in the Dolomites.
It's now been, what, like 2 hours since we got our legs moving?
Yeah.
How are you guys feeling about the experience we just had?
It was long, but I think it actually might have been worth it.
How are you feeling, Will?
Yeah, good. Just a little tired. A little hungry.
What do you think of this, huh?
It's beautiful. I'm hungry and tired, but that is very beautiful.
And so began our journey down the Marmolada. It had been a crazy journey to get there, but the snow was by far the best of anywhere on piste we'd skied that day. It was also a bit bumped up because of all the traffic, but this ended up making for a great environment to practice moguls.
So what was I doing before then?
Try to keep your head as quiet and still as possible.
We decided we were going to risk it and get a quick lunch.
We're going to that second station.
But things got even more complicated when we were reminded that grab and go wasn't really a thing even at the cafeterias here. By the time we finally got our food, gulped it down, and booked it out of there, it ultimately ended up being 2:40 p.m. Now, it was time to complete the Marmolada and head back to the Sella Ronda as quickly as possible. We bombed it down, but with it being an over 5,000 vertical foot descent from the top of Marmolada to the nearest lift back to the circuit, this was not a quick endeavor by a long shot. This all being said though, runs this long do not come normally in the ski world, and there's no doubt it was a memorable one.
That was incredible. That was so long. Good job, everybody. Still tired.
That was a quad workout.
By the time we made it down here, it was already 3 p.m. To put it bluntly, we were still 2 lift rides away from being halfway around the Sellaronda, and time was running out.
Guys, this is the first chairlift we've sat on in over 3 hours.
Dude, I was just thinking that.
But now that we were seated, we finally had some time to digest and discuss the day we'd had so far.
That's the worst part about skiing out to Europe and the US. Just everything just feels terrible.
Like, I think I'm just gonna be bothered by, oh, we're gonna take another lift again, like the same lift, but a different run.
Like how many times have we repeated a lift?
But the conversation quickly shifted back to how we were gonna get back home.
Yeah, we gotta be sprinting back.
Fine with my feet.
And then, of course, the lift stopped.
I was not expecting this lift to be this long.
Same. Yo, what the hell's going on? Don't snap, don't snap.
Try to start it and it's triggered another stop.
Luckily, the cable did not snap, and the lift eventually started moving again. But that stop did not put us in the best headspace.
Sprint down.
But before doing that, we had to double check. Would it be faster to complete the circuit or to backtrack in the other direction?
Yeah.
Hey, we'll do the whole circle, so fuck it.
Okay. Let's do it.
So we bombed our way down, and it was a race against the clock. It was exciting to potentially complete the circuit, but we still had no idea whether we'd actually get it done.
Yeah, they gotta book it, so I hope they're not standing around for too long.
And the slopes weren't exactly empty either.
It's a speedy slope, but there are quite a few people on it.
Yes.
By the time we made it back to the Sella Ronda proper, it was 3:30 p.m. Luckily, most of the lifts at Dolomiti Superski don't close until 4:30 or 5, but we were still so far away that we were cutting it extremely close. In fact, we still had a staggering 9 more lifts to ride if we simply wanted to complete the circuit, and a total of 12 if we wanted to get back home. We quickly knocked out the first of those lifts, and by the second one, we started to see warning signs of the impending circuit close time. Those warnings also sparked conversations about the alternative if we didn't make it.
Like, it'll be better if we don't have to pay for taxi. Alright, you ready?
We made good time on the next 2 lifts, transitioning into the Alta Badia region and entering the town of Corvara. But we had to weed around all of the people because it was getting close to 4 p.m. and we were running out of time. 2 out of the next 3 lifts were agonizingly long gondola rides, and by the time we got to the lift after that, it was nearly 4:30. And the lifts after this were not direct either. There was quite a bit of skiing and riding involved as well, and we really tried to go as fast as we could while still staying safe. By this point, we were in the town of Selva within the Val Gardena region, and we still had 1 more gondola to complete the loop. And after that, we had 3 more lifts to get to our villa in Ortisei. However, there was a wrench in this part of the circuit. You couldn't just ski to this next gondola. We had to take our skis off and walk through town to get to the next lift. And we were stuck waiting at a stoplight to get off the ski slope for 37 agonizing seconds. The light finally turned green, and we briskly walked to the gondola. Were we going to make it? We'd made it, but the journey back home was not over. We found a handy diagram in the gondola cabin, and it was time to plan our final leg back to the condo.
Oh, Ortisei. Okay, so if we take Sassolungo A.
Wait, are we in this one?
Yeah.
And isn't it going this way?
Yeah. So we would end up here. So technically, to get into Ortisei by ski lift, we would have to take 1, 2, 3.
We had 8 minutes left to sprint down and get back home by lift. Were we gonna make it?
I think we gotta go this way, sorry.
Unfortunately, I led us down a wrong turn that in all likelihood ended up being catastrophic for our mission. That slowdown robbed us of crucial time to get down to the junction point. It was getting really close to 5. We were cutting it truly by the skin of our teeth. Were we gonna be able to ski back home? It was too late. We did eventually make it back home thanks to a bus route alternative, but ultimately, that offshoot to Marmolada arguably cost us our ability to ski back to Ortisei and complete our itinerary. So that was our journey around the full of the Sellaronda. Unfortunately, the lifts closed on us before we were able to complete the entire journey back home, but all in all, it was still an unforgettable experience. Let's be clear, the Sellaronda is technically more than doable in one day if you stick directly to its path. But the danger is that it is way more interesting to do the terrain a little bit off of it than actually on it, and spending too much time exploring can get you stuck at the end of the day, especially if you end up on a lift choke point that's inescapable. In addition, if you start in a town that's quite a bit out of the way from the circuit like we did, that can add significant time as well. Still, if you end up in the Italian Dolomites, the sheer beauty and adventure of the Sellaronda, as well as the fact that you really only need to be an advanced intermediate to confidently do it, makes it well worth your time, perhaps in full but at least in part, either in one direction or both, when you ski or ride there on your visit. Alright, so going skiing in the Alps was a pretty sick adventure. That's why we're excited to be running it back with our PeakHouse Austria trip this upcoming January. We're going to be road tripping around some of the biggest and most snowshoe resorts in Europe, including Hintertux, Meyerhofen, and Solden. And because we know how daunting the logistics of a Europe vacation can be for an outside traveler, we've taken care of all the nitty-gritty details, with full coordinated rental car transportation, including to and from the airports, as well as groceries for our chalets. If you're looking for bigger mountain skiing than anything available in North America and want a crew to do it with, PeakHouse Austria is for you. For more information and to sign up before all of the spots are gone, check out the link in the description below. Special thanks to our Peak patrons, and see you for the next one.